December 17th. Lucy Martin is having a Christmas party, and I'm supposed to bring a gelatin salad. It sounds like a lot of fun. At least I hope it will be. I've made myself a new white soft wool dress. Mother helped me, and it's really beautiful. Someday, I hope I can sew as well as she does. In fact, someday I hope I can be like her. I wonder if when she was my age she worried about boys not liking her and girls being only her part-time friends. I wonder if boys were as oversexed in those days as they are now. It seems like when we girls talk about our dates that most of the boys are that way. None of my friends ever go all the way, but I guess a lot of the girls at my school do. I wish I could talk to my mother about things like this because I don't really believe a lot of the kids know what they're talking about. At least I can't believe all the stuff they tell me. December 22nd. The party at the Martins was fun. Dick Hill brought me home. He had his father's car, and we drove all over town and looked at the lights and sang Christmas carols. It sounds kind of corny, but it really wasn't. When we got home, he kissed me goodnight, but that's all. It kind of made me nervous because I don't know if he doesn't like me or just respects me or what. I guess I just can't be secure no matter what happens. I sometimes wish I were going with someone. Then I'd always know I had a date and I'd have someone I could really talk to. But my parents don't believe in that. And besides, confidentially, no one has ever been that interested in me. Sometimes I think no one ever will be. I really do like boys a lot. Sometimes I think I like them too much, but I'm not very popular. I wish I were popular and beautiful and wealthy and talented. Wouldn't it be nice to be like that? December 25th. It's Christmas! Wonderful, magnificent, happy, holy Christmas. I'm so happy I can hardly contain myself. I got some books and records and a skirt I really love and a lot of little things. And Mother really loved her pin. She really did. She loved it. She put it right on her nightgown and wore it all day. Oh, I'm so happy she liked it. Gran and Gramps were here, and Uncle Arthur and Aunt Jenny and their kids. It was really great. I guess Christmas is the very best time of the year. Everybody feels warm and secure and needed and wanted. Even me. I wish it could be like this all the time. I hated for today to come to an end. Not only because it was such a great day, but because this will be our last big holiday in this lovely house. Goodbye, dear house, dressed in your holiday finery of tinsel and holly and bright-colored lights. I love you. I'll miss you. January 1st. Last night I went to a New Year's party at Scott's house. The kids got a little wild. Some of the boys were juicing it up. I came home early saying I didn't feel well, but actually, it's just that I'm so excited about moving in 2 days that I am beside myself. I'm sure I won't sleep at all for the next 2 nights. Imagine moving into a new home and a new town and a new county and a new state all at the same time. Mom and Dad know a few people on the faculty, and they're at least casually acquainted with our new house. I've seen pictures of it, but it still seems like a large, cold, foreboding stranger. I do hope we like it and it can adjust to us. I wouldn't dare say this to anybody but you, Diary, but I'm not too sure I'm going to make it in the new town. I barely made it in her old town where I knew everybody and they knew me. I've never even allowed myself to think about it before, but I really haven't much to offer in a new situation. Oh dear God, help me adjust, help me be accepted, help me belong. Don't let me be a social outcast and a drag on my family. Here I go bawling again, what a boob. But there isn't any more I can do about that than there is I can do about moving. So you're wet again. It's a good thing diaries don't catch a cold. January 4th. We're here. It's barely January 4th, only 10 minutes after 1. And Tim and Alex have been quarreling, and Mama has either the stomach flu or she's just upset because of the excitement. Anyway, Dad has had to stop twice so that she could throw up. Something went wrong and the lights haven't been turned on, and I think even Dad is about ready to turn around and go back home. Mom had made a diagram of where she wanted the movers to put everything, and they got it all filed up. So we're all just going to roll up in bedding and sleep in whichever bed is handy. I'm glad I've got my little pocket flashlight. At least I can see to write confidently. The house looks pretty weird and haunted, but maybe that's because there are no curtains up or anything. Maybe things will look brighter tomorrow. They certainly couldn't look worse. January 6th. Sorry I haven't had time to write for 2 days, but we haven't stopped. We're still trying to get curtains hung and boxes unpacked and things put away. The house is beautiful. The walls are thick, dark wood, and there are 2 steps going down to a long, sunken living room. I have apologized to every room about the way I felt last night. I'm still worried about school, and today I must go. I wish Tim were in high school. Even a little brother would be better than no one. But he is in his 2nd year of junior high. Already he's met a boy down the street his own age, and I should be happy for him, but I'm not. I'm sad for myself. Alexandria is still in grade school, and one of the professors lives close and has a daughter her age, so she will go directly to his home after school. How lucky can you get? Built-in friends and everything. For me, as usual, nothing. A big fat nothing, and probably just what I deserve. I wonder if the kids wear the same things they do at home. Oh, I hope I'm not so different they'll all stare at me. Oh, how I wish I had a friend. But I better paste on the big phony smile. Mother is calling, and I must respond with an attitude that will determine my altitude. 1, 2, 3, here goes the martyr. Evening, January 6th. Oh, diary, it was miserable. It was the loneliest, coldest place in the world. Not one single person spoke to me during the whole endlessly long day. During lunch period, I fled to the nurse's office and I said I had a headache. Then I cut my last class and went by the drugstore and had a chocolate malt, a double order of French fried potatoes, and a giant Hershey bar. There had to be something in life that was worthwhile. All the time I ate, I hated myself for being childish. Hurt as I am when I think about it, I have probably done the same thing to every new person that came to my schools, either ignored them completely or stared at them out of curiosity. So I'm just getting cut back, and I guess I deserve it, but oh, am I ever suffering? I ache even in my fingernails and toenails and in my hair follicles. January 7th. Last night's dinner was excruciating. Alex loves her new school and her new little friend Trisha. Tim rode the bus with a neighbor boy and was in 3 of his classes. He said the girls were cuter than the ones at his old school, and he said they fell all over him. But that's the way it always is when a new boy moves in. Mom went to a tea and found everyone charming, beautiful, and pleasant. Isn't that nice? Well, like oil and water, I can't quite adapt or fit. Every so often, I even seem to be on the outside just looking in on my own family. How can I possibly be such a dud when I come from this gregarious, friendly, elastic background? Gramps was in politics, and he was always the favored candidate when Gran traveled by his side. So what is it with me? Am I some kind of throwback, a misfit, a mistake? January 14th. A whole week has gone by, and no one has done more than stare at me in a kind of curious, hostile, what are you doing here kind of way. I've tried to bury myself in books and my studies and my music and pretend I don't care. I guess I don't really care, and besides, what difference could it possibly make if I did? I've gained 5 pounds, and I don't care about that either. Mother is worried about me. I know because I become so quiet, but what is there to talk about? If I went by her standing rule of, if you can't say something nice about things, don't say it at all, I'd never even open my mouth except to eat, and I've been doing plenty of that. February 8th. Well, I've gained almost 15 pounds since we've been here. My face is a mess, and my hair is so stringy and oily, I'd have to wash it every night to keep it decent. Dad is never home, and Mom is on my back all the time. Be happy, put up your hair, be positive, smile, show some spirit, be friendly, and if they tell me I'm acting negatively and immaturely, one more time, I'm going to gag. I can't wear any of the clothes I made before I came here, and I know Tim is ashamed of me. When I'm around his friends, he treats me like a dum-dum, insults me, and makes remarks about my hippie hair. I'm getting fed up to here with this town and school in general, and my family and myself in particular. March 18th. Well, I finally found a friend at school. She's as cloddy and misfitting as I am, but I guess that old poke about birds of a feather is true. One night, Gerda came to pick me up for the movies, and my folks were everything but rude to her. Imagine my long-suffering, sweet-mouthed mother being tempted to utter a slimy phrase about my drab-looking nobody friend. I wonder why she doesn't take a second look at her drab-looking nobody daughter, or would that be too much for a well-groomed, thin, charming wife of the great professor, who might be the president of the school within a few years? I could see them all squirming a little, even as I have been squirming ever since we got to this impregnable hole. April 10th. Oh, happiness and joy and elation. Mother has promised that I can spend the summer at Gran's. I start on a diet as of today, this very minute. Of course, she had one little string attached to it, as she always does, that I get my grades back up. April 20th. School is almost over. 2 more months and I could hardly wait. Tim is intolerable, and Mother is constantly picking at me. Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. Why don't you? You know you should. Now you're acting childish and immature again. I know she is always comparing me with Tim and Alexandria, and I just simply can't measure up. It seems like every family has to have one goon. Guess who it is on this homestead? It's natural to have a little sibling rivalry, but ours is getting way out of control. I really do love Tim and Alex, but they've got plenty of faults too, and I find it difficult to decide whether I love them more than I hate them, or whether I hate them more than I love them. This also applies to Mom and Dad, but truthfully, I guess it applies even more to myself. May 5th. Every single teacher I have this term is an idiot and a drag. I read once that a person is lucky to have 2 good teachers who stimulate and motivate him in his whole lifetime. I guess I might have had my 2 in kindergarten and 1st grade, right? May 13th. I met another girl walking home from school. She lives just 3 blocks from us, and her name is Beth Baum. She's really awfully nice. She's kind of shy too and prefers books to people just as I do. Her father is a doctor and away from home most of the time just like Dad, and her mother nags a lot, but then I guess all mothers do. If they didn't, I hate to see what homes and yards and even the world would look like. Oh, I do hope I won't have to be a nagging mother, but I guess I'll have to be. Else I don't see how anything will ever be accomplished. May 19th. Today I went home with Beth after school. They have a lovely house and a full-time live-in maid. Beth is Jewish. I've never really had a Jewish friend before, and for some reason, I thought they'd be different. I don't know why, because we're all people, but I just thought they'd be, well, more like... As usual, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Beth is really conscientious and worries about her grades, so we did some work and then listened to records and drank no-calorie Cokes. She's trying to lose weight too. I really like her, and it's nice to have a true friend. For confidentially, I didn't really ever feel secure with Gerda. I always wanted to correct her grammar and tell her to watch her clothes and her posture. I guess I'm more like Mom than I thought. It's not that I'm a snob. Really, it's hanging on to someone just to keep from drowning. It has to be built on mutual likes and abilities, and yes, even backgrounds. Boy, Mom would be proud of my thinking and attitude today. It's just too bad we can't communicate anymore. I remember being able to talk to her when I was little, but it's as though we speak different language now, and the meanings just don't come across the right way. She means something and I take it another way, or she says something and I think she's trying to correct me or uplift me or preach at me, and I really suspect she isn't doing that at all, just groping and being as lost with words as I am. That's life, I guess. May 22nd. Beth came over to my house to study today, and Mom and Dad and both the kids like her. They even asked her to call and get permission to stay for dinner, and then Mom is going to take us downtown shopping since it's Thursday night and the stores are all open. I ran in to change my clothes, and Beth ran over to grab her things. We'll pick her up on the way, but I just had to stop and jot down the whole ecstatic experience down. It's just too tremendous and delightful and wonderful to keep all bottled up inside. May 24th. Beth is a wonderful friend. I guess she's the only best friend I've ever had since I was a very little girl. We can talk about anything. We even talk a lot about religion. The Jewish Hebrew faith is a lot different than ours. They have their meetings on Saturday, and they are still looking for Christ or the Messiah to come. Beth loves her grandparents a lot, and she wants me to meet them. She says they are Orthodox and eat meat off one set of plates and milk things off another set of plates. I wish I knew more about my own religion so I can tell Beth. June 3rd. Today, Beth and I talked about sex. Her grandmother told her that when a Jewish boy and girl are getting married, if someone says the girl isn't a virgin and they can prove it, the boy doesn't even have to marry her. We wondered exactly how they proved such a thing, but neither of us really know. She said she'd rather ask her grandmother than her mother, but I'd rather ask my mother if I were to ask anyone, which of course I won't, and my mother wouldn't know about Jewish customs anyway. Beth says she has nightmares about walking down the aisle, wearing a long, beautiful white gown, with hundreds of people at her wedding, and someone whispering to a rabbi that she's not a virgin, and the boy turning around and leaving her. I don't blame her. I'd feel the very same way. Someday, when she gets up enough nerve, she's going to ask her grandmother or somebody about it. I hope she'll tell me, because I really want to know too.